ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವರೆ ಚೆನ್ನೈ एक्सप्रेस राजधानी स्टेशन नेताजी भवन
All the Bengalis in the world are saying Kihochi after the first 10. Things sort of went pear-shaped for them. Ajinkya Rahane with the fireworks in the first 10 gave us the impression that they'd go past 200, but it wasn't to be. After being 107 for 2 in 10, well, they scored only 67 in the back 10. That's how it all finished for Kolkata. 174 for 8. My name is Manish. You're watching Voltas Fresh Air Coolers presents Cricbuzz Live. It all went pear-shaped, Joy. Where did things go wrong?
There's so many. If you look at it, that 107 in the first 10, just 2 wickets down. Remember, that was 107 for 1. Literally in the last ball of the 9th over, they lost Sunil Narine.
Yeah.
And from there, if you go on one after the other, take a look at that. Their run rate, 10, it's still 11.75. They're still, hitting.
Yeah.
After that, it just falls off a cliff. And I think the biggest thing is, the biggest doubts that we had about KKR was about their opening batting.
Yeah.
And what has actually let them down is their middle order.
Yeah.
And that middle order was counted as among the strongest. You had Venkatesh Iyer there, you had Rinku Singh there, you had Andre Russell there. Yeah. And they just allowed the entire RCB bowlers to make a comeback. Krunal Pandya was fantastic. Surya Sharma recovered. All the bowlers managed to recover from absolutely horrendous starts.
A story of two halves, and I suppose it will give RCB a lot of confidence going into their next game as well. If bowling is their weakness, if they can come back like this, augurs really well for Patidar, the new captain.
Look, this is a format where anyone can go for runs. I know that we tend to bracket certain teams as, oh, these guys don't do well, or they have a long-standing weakness with their bowling. Yeah. But having said that, it's about coming back. It's about being strong. It's about rallying. And that's exactly what they did. Imagine going at nearly 12 runs and over, and 2 batters looked like they didn't put a foot wrong.
Yeah.
Yes, Sunil Narine is always wishing and swishing and missing. But the way Ajinkya batted, they didn't look like they would get out.
Yeah.
And Rasik went for too many runs. Suyesh didn't start well at all. He was just going for runs aplenty. Krunal Pandya went for 14. And I thought the move, 14 or 15, the move to bring him on was right, but unfortunately he was up against Sunil Narine, who hadn't put bat to ball, and he gets off with a 6, and then 14, and then to come back so strongly. And also, think of what Suyesh did, getting Andre Russell. It's not about going for 47. What did you do? You got a man who can literally kill you in that second half or the back end of the innings, and he manages to get him at a crucial juncture, and then it just all the wheels went down.
Yep. Right, at the halfway mark, I thought to myself in the mid-show, Ajinkya Rahane will be my top story, but it isn't because Krunal Pandya said, hang on, after that first over that went for 15, he's pulled it back so beautifully.
No, absolutely amazing. 29 for 3 and, 14 in the last 3, the way he bowled, the way he, he's not the biggest spinner of the ball, but his ability to be accurate, to, stick to the length, to actually attack you on your feet so that you don't have place to hit the ball. Yep. He even bowled a bouncer and got 1 for the over. So he just is a bowler who will bowl whatever is required. And I think what he showed today was, one is skill, the ability to be able to bowl well. The other is just competitive nature. He didn't give up, and the way he came back. And once they started getting wickets from one side, the confidence increased. Surya started bowling better. And I think at that phase, the game totally changed.
What did Krunal Pandya do right today after that first over?
Look, it's again, the first over, he tried to bowl normal, because he thought that the batter wasn't putting bat to ball, and that can happen. You try and bowl, do something which is your strength. He went for a 6, and then later on, and immediately in that over, he started firing it in just to get through that power play. And then after that, I keep saying this, and Joyda alluded to it, he's not a big spinner of the ball, but he's wily. He's got great changes of pace. He can do different things. He's got a very odd action for a left-arm spinner. Yeah. He lifts his hand up and you think that the ball's going to come at pace, but he's managed to figure a way to really slow it down, also bowl deliveries in excess of possibly 105 kilometers per hour.
Yeah.
So there is a variance. There's a huge range which he plays around with, and that is why he's pretty effective. To get 2 left-handers, think Venkatesh Iyer, inside edge. It was a quick one, beaten for pace, and then to Rinku as well.
Yep.
And then getting Ajinkya, who was going great guns at that time. It's just simple, clever changes of pace, and playing with your field.
Heads to bowl straight. That's what he does often.
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. There are times where he's thrown the ball wide outside. He throws it, slows it up very nicely. And then, as he said, he bowls a bouncer as well. So that's the kind of range he has. He can bowl from around 72 kilometers per hour to 110 kilometers per hour with that action. And it's not easy.
Suyash Sharma went for 47 off his 4. He looked completely lost, especially at the start of his spell. He was bowling absolute long hops.
No, I mean, if you look at it, I mean, first I was just looking at that and I was just looking at the number of dots Josh Hazlewood had, which is absolutely amazing. I mean, 4 overs, 16 dot balls out of the 24 that you've bowled has been absolutely superb. Suyash Sharma, if you look at him, I think he did the single most important thing. He got a batter who can give you a 40-45 run swing in 5-6 overs. Because, I mean, Andre Russell is that kind of batter he's there. So, moment anyone who's got Andre Russell, he's done his job for the team. And I think the first 2 balls, if you remember, Suyash Sharma was just not getting his length at all. He was bowling half-trackers. And then they put some sawdust out there. He was a bit better there. At the end of the day, if you have that googly, and I think what Andy Flower has told them is, attack, because you know the only way to stop somebody like Andre Russell is to get his wicket. It's very difficult to bowl defensive to a person like Andre Russell because he has so much power that he can hit you off the back foot. So bowling defensively, he just bowled a googly, got him, and I think that one ball is worth 20, 25, 30 runs.
No Bhuvneshwar Kumar for RCB for some strange reasons. We don't really know why. But I suppose Josh Hazlewood's spell really helped them. Just 5 of that last over as well. Only 10 in that 18th over that Hazlewood bowled. But if you look at KKR's batting, did they look a little bit overconfident in the back 10, just the way those wickets fell? Shots of Russell as well?
No, I wouldn't say that. Sometimes that's the way the game plays out.
Yeah.
There is no overconfidence there. There's sometimes it's your application and deliverance at the right time. This is how Andre Russell plays.
Yeah.
And, we normally call Iceman Rinku.
Yeah.
He's a man for all situations. He got out at the wrong time. I don't know what it is with Venkatesh Iyer. It'll be an interesting year. Again, we've seen many good players, many wonderful players being bogged down, being weighed down by the price tag. So it'll be interesting how he plays, how he performs this year with that price tag. I wouldn't put it to overconfidence. I would just put it to sheer resilience from the opposition because they were getting pelted. They were getting pelted. For them to come back, you have to give it to the odd few bowlers who gives you that confidence or gives the entire team that confidence that you can bounce back. We got that from Krunal Pandya. You have to mention Josh Hazlewood.
Oh, yes.
It was actually single wicket for a long time. It was only Jitesh and him playing. The batters were in between and they were just swinging their bats. So a great spell from him, given what has happened around him. I think it's just a good comeback from the RCB bowlers.
Big plus for KKR though, that century partnership between their captain Rahane and Sunil Narine, who took a while to get going, but that partnership told us that this is a flat, fast, full of runs kind of wicket.
It was, but I think towards the end, the ball was...
Stopping a little bit.
Stopping, there was turn. There was definitely turn and bounce. And that's one thing I'm telling you, that this match is by no means over. I mean, this partnership was absolutely fantastic. I think it set a base. And that's why KKR, even with that collapse in the end, is still reached a total which is definitely a competitive total.
But Jayada, you have to remember that a wrist spinner was bowling.
Yeah.
So will the 2 mystery spinners who predominantly bring the ball in, will they find the same amount of spin? Because it was not Krunal Pandya who was turning the ball, who was a finger spinner. Suyash, every time he got the ball right, was spinning it because there is a lot of leg spin.
You can tell us better because...
They'll get bounce though. On this kind of pitch, they will get a bit more bounce.
Yeah, they will get extra bounce because both of them are tall, both of them hit that back of a leg. They'll definitely get bounce. But I don't know whether they'll get extract the same amount of...
Fair point.
Angkrish Raghuvanshi at the end of the innings said the wicket was a bit too placed, so slow balls were gripping a bit and it was not easy to play our strokes. Remember, 8 overs of quality spin, Varun Chakravarti and Sunil Narine. It won't be easy for us.
It won't be easy, and also more importantly, if the balls were gripping at the back end of their innings, which means at a place like Eden Gardens, which is on the eastern side of India, there is no dew. And that is something which the KKR bowlers will be happy that there is no dew if it's sticking around at the back end of their innings.
And they anyway have the option to change the ball under the new rules of the IPL. So
exactly.
That's really good for...
Also, if you've had so much rain,
the option is with the umpire. It's at
the bowling captain can ask for it.
Ask for it, but it'll be the umpires who decide.
It's the umpire's call.
Umpires call whether they feel that it is wet enough to give them a different ball.
anyway, if you have had so much rain, you're unlikely to have
have dew.
Yeah.
You're unlikely to have dew at all. So I think that is a level playing field. I think KKR will be happy about it.
Yep.
But again, see, what's the biggest plus for KKR if you look at it? Their biggest plus was their captain has got going. No matter what happens, their captain has got going. The biggest plus again for RCB is actually the same. Their captain managed to weather the storm and their bowlers managed to show resilience. This is a very hard-nosed cricket. And this hard-nosed cricket, again, somebody like Andy Flower, their coach, he's a very, very hard-nosed cricketer. Doesn't give up, fights till the end.
Yeah.
So he's brought a bit of his, fight, his competitive spirit to them. And I like the way they came back. It's a great comeback.
Half the game
Suyash
yet.
was replaced by DDP. I'm just wondering who will KKR replace? Andrik Norke?
They can do Anukul Roy as well.
If it spins.
If it turns...
Yeah, but how much does Anukul Roy bowl? How much has he bowled over the last few seasons of IPL?
No,
Right
I think
down
you're
fast
right.
medium on a pitch
I
like
think
this.
I still think then you go with Vaibhav
Arora.
Arora. He seems the most likely candidate.
Okay, not Andrik Norke.
Nokia, that's difficult because they have four
players.
They can't because it's the overseas player. Yeah, I forgot that.
Right,
Too many permutations and combinations.
half the game yet to be played, but what augurs well from a KKR macro point of view is that the captain was looking really good tonight. Ajinkya Rahane, terrific innings at 56. He looked really good.
He looked really good. I think in the first over, he got a couple of gimme deliveries from Rasim Khanna. But see, once you get that, to build on it is fantastic. And I took what he did was very different because you see Sunil Narine batting on the other side. Sunil Narine will basically stand back and wait to whack the ball.
Yeah.
Ajinkya Rahane played proper
Cricketing
shots,
shots.
Paid it over square leg, hit the cover drive, hit the ball over mid-wicket. I mean, he played all the shots in the book. He looked beautiful. He looked in absolutely fantastic touch. And I think that's something they'll take forward because they'll say, at least this captaincy business, we don't have to think about for a while.
Right, very quickly, Kartik, bowling plan for RCB, given that, for KKR, not RCB, given that they have 175 to chase.
I think they have to start well again because you think of Phil Salt. Phil Salt only knows one way. You've got the master chaser. At the other end, he knows exactly what would have happened because having been there on the field, he knows exactly the way the pitch is playing out. It'll be interesting to see how Virat starts as well. Because what we saw during the Champions Trophy was Virat taking some time. We hope that happens over here as well. And again, for KKR, from a KKR point of view, you've got 8 overs of spin, but it's the bowlers around who need to shape up.
Two overs of spin in the first 6? 3, maybe?
Sorry?
2-3 overs of spin in the first 6 against Kohli?
Depends how the seamers start. Depends exactly how the seamers start because he would want them to have the luxury of fielders outside. Yeah. But if not the case, then obviously they will be forced or the captain will be forced to bring either Sunil Narine or Varun Chakravarti.
Russell's change of pace will be key as well. There's Spencer Johnson, Ramandeep Singh, Varun, Sunil Narine. They've got 174 to defend. None of us got our predictions right in the first innings, but we've got a chance to make amends, gentlemen.
First 10, right?
First 10. Or do we do power play?
Do we do power play or first?
Let's do power play. Let's do power
I think
play.
we do power play.
Let's do power play.
Right. 55.
I'm going with 50.
I have the advantage of knowing that Angkrish Raghuvanshi has
been subbed.
been
For
subbed out.
Vaibhav Arora.
No, but anyway, I'm going to go with 48 for RCB.
So 48, 50, 55.
That is how it is. That is all for now. Make sure you join us once again at the end of this on Voltage Fresh Air Coolers presents Cricbuzz Live. Bye-bye.
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವ ರೈಲನೆ Express, Rahane Narine Station, Netaji